campaign event.
At a Conservative Party launch, this is where the Prime Minister is going to speak in the next few minutes, and I'm being forcibly removed. We just simply wanted to have access tonight at Sky News.
Wow, what a day. What a day. First, inflation coming down in the UK, followed by Rishi Sunak stunning everybody by announcing 4th of July for the next election date. We all knew that he should be announcing the election dates, and we all were bracing ourselves for maybe October elections, because the May deadline was passed and we thought the next possible election date would be in October. But then he stunned everybody, and he made this announcement amidst downpour, heavy downpour outside 10 Downing Street.
Earlier today, I spoke with His Majesty the King to request the dissolution of Parliament. The King has granted this request, and we will have a general election on the 4th of July. This election will take place at a time when the world is more dangerous than it has been since the end of the Cold War.
Of course, he became an object of ridicule on social media, but, that's Rishi Sunak for you. Now, the news was welcomed by almost every single party. Keir Starmer, who can't actually wait for the moment because, he's just too excited about the 22% lead that his party is being given by the pollsters, and he expects to be the next Prime Minister of this country. Now, in his first reaction, he talked about how he has revamped the Labour Party, and his approach is going to be the country first and party second.
Tonight, the Prime Minister has finally announced the next general election, a moment the country needs and has been waiting for, and where, by the force of our democracy, power returns to you. A chance to change for the better your future, your community, your country. Now, it will feel like a long campaign, I'm sure of that. But no matter what else is said and done, that opportunity for change is what this election is about. Over the course of the last 4 years, we've changed the Labour Party, returned it once more to the service of working people. All we ask now, humbly, is to do exactly the same for our country and return Britain to the service of working people.
Now, I was going to record this video talking about the need for the public broadcasters to be impartial during the time of elections, as has been the case in the past. Now, given how Gaza situation has polarized views, it's natural for people to question the role played by these broadcasters in time of elections. But then something bizarre happened. So what happened after Rishi Sunak announced the election date? He went for the first campaign event of his party.
And I can tell by this reception that you are up for this general election. Now, the last few years have been tough. I know that, you know that. We've been dealing with COVID, which so badly upended our way of life. And then the huge spike in our energy bills caused by Putin's invasion of Ukraine. But together, as we learnt this morning, we have got inflation down from 11% to 2%. We have delivered on my first priority, to drive inflation back to normal.
There were lots of media people out there trying to cover the event. Also present there was a Sky News reporter. Now you remember Sky News reporter going overboard, praising Prime Minister and defending Prime Minister Rishi Sunak while grilling George Galloway immediately after his stunning win in Rochdale parliamentary by-election.
Prime Minister is saying that you are God. We're talking about little Rishi Sunak in the fag end of his prime ministership. Don't talk to me as if he's come down from the mount with tablets of stone. The things that he says are somehow meant to awe me. They may awe you, they don't awe me.
A lot of people have just watched what the Prime Minister said. This is your opportunity to respond to what he said. Well, he says that there are forces here at home trying to tear us apart. He is implying you are a divisive figure. You have run an election campaign that has tried to appeal, particularly, and not entirely, to one section of the community.
Who won the election? Me or Rishi Sunak? I've got the Democratic mandate here, not Rishi Sunak. He didn't even come second. He was lucky to come third. So don't put to me statements made by Rishi Sunak as if I'm supposed to be impressed by them. He don't impress me much.
It wasn't the same reporter, but nonetheless a reporter from the same organization trying to report live on the first election event of Rishi Sunak. Now what happens is that I want you to watch it.
Campaign event at a Conservative Party launch. This is where the Prime Minister is going to speak in the next few minutes, and I'm being forcibly removed. We just simply wanted to have access tonight at Sky News, but unfortunately we're told that because there are pool arrangements in place, we're not allowed to be here. This is, by the way, what we're trying to film is the campaign event where the Prime Minister is due to speak in the next couple of minutes. It's in front of Conservative activists. It's eventually trying to get across the message that we had in Downing Street today from the Prime Minister, talking about stability. I'm sure he's going to talk about the decision he's made, but as you can see, we just don't have access to it. It's not entirely clear why we don't have access to it, but as I say, this was meant to be the campaign launch for the Prime Minister, for the Conservative leader, in front of party activists, in front of those loyalists who are going to support him during this campaign, who are going to go out and knock on doors, etc. The hope, of course, of the Prime Minister is this is a decision, a gamble that he's taken. So we're going to be put into an elevator here. Our bags are up here. We're probably going to have to leave at this stage because we're going to lose contact. We have to go into an elevator through security. But I will hand back to the studio and hopefully we'll come up live afterwards after you've heard the speech. The Prime Minister is due to speak in the next couple of minutes.
Extraordinary stuff, Darren. I mean, Darren, I was, thrown to you there, expecting you to be there in the live position, ready to take it away. What I was not expecting to see when I went over to you is a security guard forcibly evicting you from the conference centre. We can see...
Now you can see, everybody is stunned. The reporter himself is stunned. The presenter is stunned, who says that the event, she calls it extraordinary. Now, this is the treatment that they receive from the guy who they were trying to fiercely defend and promote during the Rochdale parliamentary by-election. Now, just imagine if it wasn't the Tory party whose supporter was kicking the Sky News reporter out. If it was, let's say, George Galloway's party, or let's say some other smaller party, how would they have reacted, and how would the channel itself had reacted? So, whilst I don't condone that these kind of things cannot be allowed to happen, the reporters do their job and they should be allowed to do their job. And I also don't understand the background story as to under what circumstances, the reporter was asked to leave. But nonetheless, the development itself is quite extraordinary. For a Sky News reporter to be kicked out in that fashion by the ruling party member from an event which was supposed to be addressed by the incumbent Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, in a country which prides itself to be the first world country, which prides itself to be the ambassador of democracy, of free speech, this is quite a sad development. And I'm sure in time to come, this will become quite a talked about topic on social media. But right now, this development has come as a shock for everybody, particularly for somebody who watches media development so closely. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.